Welcome to Herd Summer Racing League Race 5, Guardia After Party. After party in cycling, unfortunately, does not mean the same thing as it does in the rest of the world. It's going to be an uphill, hard finish. We also have some brilliant team tactics put out here by ATP this time. If you want to see how some of the best team racing I've ever seen on Cat D, hang around. We're going to walk our way through it. We've got a good hard start here. We've got a couple people to watch. Olie, he's tough. He comes in from time to time. He's always a hard racer off the front. Fawcett, not real sure about him. He's a younger guy, 37. He's got his information locked unless you're his buddy. But he sure looks tough in his picture, so I'm going to keep an eye on him. John Watai, herd racer. He's coming back from surgery, so hopefully he's got some good juice in him. He's off the front right now, trying to set the pace for us. He's always an aggressive racer. We've got Thornton from ATP. Marcus from ATP. Now Marcus I'm familiar with. We did the ITT against each other. He beat me by 7 seconds. I know what his sprint and his climb is like, and it ain't pretty for me when he's doing it. Thomas, we raced with him last time. He's tough on that front. He's got a great flat line power that's hard for me to keep up with. My only hope is to stay in his draft. My guess is Thomas is going to be riding for the race lead. If I can stay with him, we'll be off to good stuff. We're setting up here for the first sprint out of 7. This will kind of set the tone for the race as we see what's going on. Look at that split already. We got a bunch of guys setting some fast pace. Looks like Thomas is trying to I'm tired coming off that race, but anyhow, Thomas trying to draft off me, and I think I just nipped him on the line on that one. But now I've got to catch up to this group here in front of us. So we're going to speed it up a little bit as we talk our way through this. There's a group off the front, and obviously we can't let that happen, but there's a sprint every lap. And let's speed up and see how we can get through this a little quicker as we talk about it. Every 2.7K we're sprinting, so there's not a lot of time to rest up, and burning each other's legs is certainly the thing to do. There are sprint points. It's FTS through the 7 sprints and 1 KOM for our finish, and then of course finish points in this race. So I'm moving along. We got ATP hanging out there letting me do all the work again. There's Marcus on my backside. Thornton's up front right now. Collier's up front. We got John up top. John sure is buying a lot of wind time. I'm going to have to send him my video on resting in the draft, especially after surgery, John. Yeah, I'm calling you out there, buddy. But if you can hold it, go out there and hold it. We've got all 3 ATP with me right now, but I'm just trying to rest because I got another sprint, and these guys just beat me. Marcus and Thornton setting the pace. Here we are. This means half a K to the sprint point. We're setting this up, and ATP's quite happy to just ride my wheel and everybody else's wheel into the sprint point. And here we go. Thornton's off, Marcus off, Thomas riding my wheel again, making me do all the work. Then we're all trying to play catch up, figuring out where everybody is. I'm having to work to catch up. Thankfully, Thomas a little bit off the back. Here I cut up to the other 2 ATP guys, and look at that. I want to catch up. They didn't seem to be too anxious to catch up. There goes Thomas. Someone's got to catch him. Can't let him get away. And look at that. ATP shut down, and they're letting me do the work, so they're going to let me pull him up. I'm trying to hang on to Thomas, but like I said, his flat power is more than I can handle, and at this point, he's cat and mousing me. Normally when we've got that fire socks, it gives away too much information, and I feel like he's teasing me with it. Every time I accelerate, he hits some fire on the road. Really not cool, Thomas. I really feel like you're messing with me there, but I cannot catch you. You are away. So I have to sit back and try and get some help with these guys. ATP's not going to pull because they got their teammate Thomas up front now, so if theirs can do a little work, maybe. I put in a little dig. But ATP is more than happy to let me do that. Playing the awesome teammates right now. They're letting Thomas go off the front, fight for the win. They're coming through here now. We're half a K again from another sprint. So Thomas and Marcus, they're just stealing sprint points. Brilliant move. I mean, let Thomas race for the front. These guys here take spots 1 and 2 most of the time on the primes, and don't let anybody else have the points. I can't keep up. I'm doing all the effort I can do, and then when we're done, I've got to catch back up. And they're letting Thornton take that most of the time. He's going to sprint and go off, and then I have 2 choices: sit back and let him get away, or pull Marcus up to him. And they're wearing me out. Reminds me of the time that Chris Froome was going against 2 teammates in the Tour de France. I cannot remember the race, but every time they would have a teammate attack, Froome had to follow, and as soon as he touched, the next teammate go off. If you remember what race that was, drop a little note in the comments. If you're having fun with this, drop me a like. It helps more people see what's going on with these races, and more folks can get into learning these beginner racing stuff. Not that this is beginner. These guys are playing some top-notch team racing. We've got Thornton's up in front of me, but he's not in the front. He's letting someone else do all the work for him. So what are we going to do? I can't go out there and close this gap, bring 2 guys up to John. So I'm sitting here riding with these guys who are just cat and mouse in this thing. Here we are. These boards mean, again, we're half a K from the sprint, and watch what happens. They like, Marcus lets Thornton get off a little bit on the front. Now I have 2 choices. I either close the gap on Thornton or I let Thornton get away. If I try to close the gap, then Marcus ends up letting me pull him through the sprint point. And if I ease off, Marcus is just going to take off too. And now look at the gap I've got to close. They are wearing me out. So now I've got to go catch up to Thornton again. Marcus is going to ride my wheel, let me do all the work. If I let Thornton get away, I lose a spot. That's 4 points in this race. And here I am doing the work again. So good racing by these guys. The guys off the front are just gone. There's nothing I can do to catch up. Thornton got a good distance on it. For a minute I thought he was going to get away, but then I realized I just cannot let this happen. And Marcus, quite content to let me do all the work. We've got Thayer's helping a little bit, but when he eases off, I have got to close this gap. And now instead of sprinting through the sprints, I'm punching on the backside where I'm supposed to be resting, catching back up to Thornton. We're up. Marcus is quite happy with that. We're all back together, and they're getting ready to take another sprint point here. And that red over there was John Wattai saying that he is just toast. He's, like I said, coming back from surgery. He's not going to be able to stay off the front, so we've lost the only herd rider in the lead group. There's no way I'm catching that lead group at 40 seconds. If I try to, these guys are just going to grab my wheel, but here we are, half a K from a sprint again. Watch the setup. Same thing happening every time. Marcus is quite happy to let Thornton get a little bit ahead. And when I try and close that, he just rides my wheel in and beats me on the sprint. And I cannot catch these guys on their sprint numbers. I've given all I've got. I've hit 10. I can't get under 10. Then 943, 984. Don't mean to be off the front here. We're just trying to recoup. And off we go again. I've lost track of how many times we've gone through this sprint, but it is beginning to get tiring. And I'm not getting much rest because these guys push just enough to keep me working hard. I'm trying to find the rest in the back, like I always talk about, sit in the back, rest up. There isn't much to be had. Look, there goes Thornton grabbing onto these C guys, so now I've got to punch and stay with them again. We ride through them a little bit here, and we stay with this group for quite a bit of time. I'm close to dropping off all this time because I'm trying to just rest. But there, Marcus lets a gap form. Thornton going away with them, and I've got to punch it to get back up. Just good racing. And there's no sense him keeping that gap closed when I'm riding his tail, and we're the last 2. He may as well ease off and make me work, and I pulled him back up to the group when he did that. It's exhausting. It's exhausting talking about it. It was exhausting doing it. So here we are. There are the billboards. We're half a K from the sprint again, and now we're with the C's. So we might be able to pull something off hanging with them, but no, the C's take off. And you want to take a guess who's behind me here in a second? Yeah, there's Marcus. Sprinting back through here again. I'm just trying to be sub 10 for pride at this point, and I can't do it. These guys are still crushing me. I haven't looked at the primes, but they're tail gunning me, so they're always coming out just a little bit ahead every time on these. They're basically beating me on these primes. So we're still doing our laps through here. Let's see if I speed up a little quicker, because it's pretty much rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I'm getting just handed a clinic on how to run it with a team, and we'll speed it up so it's not quite as agonizing for me to watch it for the second time. Looks like we've got one more sprint to go here, and then we start the after party fun. And honestly, I'm not really looking forward to that right now, because these guys can do the same thing on that hill. They can send one ahead and let me choose to chase or not, and not have to pull their second guy up. And I already know Marcus can take me on those climbs. He's done it before. So we'll take one more sprint, see if we can get a sub 10 just for pride. Here we are, half a K in. Same setup, Thornton on the front. I'm having to take the middle. If I try to do anything, Marcus just drops in behind me. Notice how he's surging and knees and surging and knees, and each time I try to catch up to him, oh look, they switched it up on me, and they still both beat me. I got a 993, but that just isn't good enough to hang with these guys. So now we're getting ready for the real fun. Here starts the after party. Thornton is beginning to take the lead. He's always on the front. I'm not sure if these two guys are that used to working with each other or not, but they are both Cat D. They're both ATP. Maybe this is their method. He's letting Thornton push the pace. I've got to stay with Thornton, or of course I lose that position, and that's 4 points. I'm already struggling. I don't think I got enough points through the sprints, but I've got to stay with him. And Marcus, quite happy to sit back there. I already know he's going to pop his sprint at the top at like 3 or 4 watts, and I can't do 4 right now. My legs are just done. So I'm just trying to stay with Thornton and praying that Marcus is tired, but really not thinking that's going to be the case here. So here we are. We get a flat, we get a climb, and at this point Marcus pushes it. I'm trying to stay with him, but honestly I'm close to cracking here on this thing. I'm in 5th place, or 6th is the worst I can do. There's no way 7th is catching me, and I'm not catching Thornton. He's gone. And it takes Marcus just a little bit. He's just making 100% sure Thornton's away before he makes the attack on me. But when he feels like it's the right time, he's just going to hit it. I try to go with him for a second, and there's just no way. He's hit 4, so he's at 4.5, 3.7. He's gone. We're nearing the end. I'm toast. That was an absolute clinic by ATP on how to ride as a team. There's nothing the herd could do to stay with these guys today. We'll catch up to what the finish positions are up here, and I'll pull up the primes in just a second, and we'll go through that. But here, live the agony with me. You know how tired you are at this point? Your legs are just on fire, but you still got to finish, and I coast in shamefully. I just coast in. Here's the road finish. Thomas, Collier, Fawcett, Thornton, Marcus. I end up 6th, and we'll wait and see what 7th does just for fun here. Coleman, good for him. Let's take a look at the primes and see what happened. Here's our finish results on the points race. Chris Thornton with 1st place based on all those primes he took. Thomas took 2nd place. Marcus took 3rd, an ATP sweep of the top 3 spots. Glenn Fawcett in 4th. I came in 5th. And Jack Collier from the herd came in 6th based on points. Nice work, Jack. Now, what's agonizing for me is I was in solo 1st place on the GC. Olie, who's another herd guy competing with me, raced in another race. He took 1st. So with my 5th place, that puts him in the lead on the points GC race. And I'll have to check on the rest of these guys. I think that's where it's going to stand for now. But ATP Racing, absolute clinic on how to run as a team, sweeping the podiums, and showing everybody how it's done. Great job, guys. Hope to see you all out next week.